Okay, let's see. Let's see if this will work. Let's get rid of that. Hold on a second. Put this here. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's just go ahead and get this started. It is kind of funny. I will tell you what happened with. Here we go. I was trying to do the live events. It's something new that YouTube has, and you have to download the Wirecast, which I did, and I played around with, and everything went fine. And for some reason, Wirecast did not want to work. Twice, it just shut down, and you need this software to integrate to the live event. And since it kept shutting down, I couldn't do the live event. So these things happen because, like I said, when I was playing around with it, and there was nobody coming there, um, it worked just fine. So with that, let's see. We're just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna roll with it. All right, this is Glendon. I'm gonna go ahead and do this presentation. Fortunately, I didn't do this off the cuff, and I was ready for Gremlins. So with that, let's just jump into it. All right, a little bit about me, because there's a lot of new people in G-verse. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. I used to be a former storage auction buyer. You know, the thing that they talk about in the shows, and you make all this money and don't work that hard. That wasn't my reality. I busted my butt in the storage auction business. It was good money, but it was a lot of work. Serial entrepreneur, publisher, author, and school founder. Who knew that was going to happen? No college, no fancy pedigree, just driving willpower. I tell you all this to let you know that I started off pretty much where a lot of you are starting off, or in some cases, in a much worse situation. There are people who are trying to jump on the Hangouts. If you don't have the proper audio equipment, it makes echoes and it leaves stuff that's kind of crazy, so I'll have to boot you because it's distracting. So that's what's going on with that. But make sure everything is cool. But essentially, what I can do for you is give you a roadmap from a dark and crazy place. Say right now, you don't have any money. Say you're underemployed, you have more bills than you know what to do with, and you're looking for an easy answer. First and foremost, I have no easy answers. Secondly, I do have answers that will help you out of your situation, but there's going to be some work involved. There's going to be some effort, and it's not going to be an overnight process. So if you came here today looking for something that's instantly going to solve the problems that you've created over a period of weeks, months, years, or in some cases decades, I don't have anything for you. However, if you're willing to work hard, put forth effort like you never did before, you can literally change your life in a year. Yes, a year. I'm saying a year. I'm saying a long time. I'm saying I have no magic jelly beans, but I do have some magic. And part of that will be this course, taking the first leap, or this presentation. One of the things that I keep seeing and hearing is Many people are in what I call rapid research mode. They are building their knowledge base, reading books, doing a lot of research, but they're not doing anything. They're not actually taking risk and action out there. They're just building this knowledge for what purpose? Someone sent me an email about a course, and I asked them how much money they made. And it was like they didn't make any money, they was just going through the course. And I was just like, okay, I didn't say this, but I'm saying it now. You have to do the course and you have to do the task. Part of our school system is to go ahead and hurry up and learn some knowledge so you can move on to the next thing. It doesn't matter if that knowledge is practical or will help you do anything. It's just like get this knowledge, and I'm seeing that, and that's one of the reasons that I've created Hustle University. It's a totally different ball game, and it's designed to get you to a place where you're making money faster than you're just absorbing knowledge. Because I've been doing this 5 years, seeing a lot of people who are not at that action point. And the action point is where you get up, you stop watching the YouTube videos, you stop reading books, you actually start doing something. You start, that's the first step. You got to start doing something. You have to go out and try. And just like when I gave you my background of what I didn't know how to do this stuff years ago. And I had to learn, and that's where you are. You're going to have to learn, which means you will put yourself in a position where you are not going to come across as, being on top of your game. You're going to look dirty. You're going to look foolish. You're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be as clean and crisp as the stuff. And that's one of the reasons I did my video about the addiction to third-party platforms, because once you learn this stuff and you're making money, you don't really want to learn anymore. That's the problem. It's like I've got this. I kind of want to learn a little bit because see, you're getting a result. You're getting a result. You may not be getting the result that you want, but you're getting a result, and it's hard to let that go and learn something else. That's why the only way that I would recommend selling something on Amazon or eBay from Hustlers University is if it's a product that you make yourself. That is the only thing that I would recommend you sell on Amazon. I sell stuff on Amazon. I sell nothing on eBay. But the things I sell on Amazon, and I'm not putting a lot of effort in that right now, is things that I create. It's a different price point. It's a different profit margin. And that's some of the things that we're going to talk about. But you got to take that first step. You have to get out there. You have to get dirty. You're going to have to play in the mud. You're going to have to walk in the dirt. You're going to climb the mountain. You will be hustling like you've never hustled before. Now, this is something else. You got to believe. You seriously have to believe that you can start a business. That is one of the things that holds many people back. They don't believe that they can start a business. They think perhaps possibly they could start a business, or that this might be a voodoo, or this might be something beyond them. This may be, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff in this presentation, because part of what's holding people back from starting that business is what is a business. And when you say business, people think of McDonald's, which is a business. They think of Home Depot. They think of having a building. They think of having employees. And all of those are parts of businesses. But I have a business that until recently was just me. There's no building. There were no employees. I don't even have business cards. But the business makes money. That's the business, making money. If you do something and it makes money consistently, that is the formulation of a business. That's it. Not the corporation, not the company car, not the logo. None of that stuff matters until you start making money. One of the biggest things that happened during the dot-com era was there was so much money out there that people were giving money to people who did not have a firm grasp of how to make money. Well, we're going to get 1 million eyeballs to look at this website. Okay, here's 5 million. That kind of stuff was going on. And it was kind of funny. It was kind of crazy, really, when you think about it. But typically, when you reframe how you think of a business and starting the business in 2014, if you start selling blue rabbits, right, you have a secret ingredient that you can paint these white rabbits blue. And then they do something special. And you create 5 blue rabbits a week and you sell them for 25 bucks, 30. No, they're blue. Let's make it 100 bucks. So you sell these blue rabbits for 100 bucks. Your cost is, you go to the rabbit farm, they're like 5 bucks a piece. Sometimes when their rabbits are overproducing, they just give you the rabbits because they want them out of there. And you're making, your cost for the blue magic dye is 4 bucks. So you're selling 5 rabbits. So you have a cost of $20 per rabbit. Let's say 25, including the gas to go get them. And you're selling 5 a week for 100 bucks. That's $500. And you do it August, you do it September, you do it October, you do it November, you do it December, January, February. So you have a business. It's a small business. When you use the word business, people tend to extrapolate the data and throw on whatever ideal that's huge in their mind as a business. It's like, well, I know you're selling those blue rabbits, dude, but if you had a real business, you'll have some business cards, you'll be incorporated. You know, you're not really showing me nothing. And essentially what that person just told you was how they have an ideal of what a business is and what a business is not. You, my friend, you, my blue rabbit selling friend, you have a business. You have a valid business and you're making money. So how does one get to this point of believing? You just got to start. Start and fail, start and fail, start and fail. When you dare to dream and do these things, you change yourself, which is a good thing because the world has changed. The world has changed in crazy ways. Crazy, crazy ways. Now, another thing about, building your business and believing before we get to the world, it's going to take you some time. As I alluded to the year, you must start soon. This is another thing. You must start very, very soon. I mean, you are better off, whether it's my information or not, watching one video, reading one book, and getting started with the information from that one video, that one book, making mistakes, and then building upon that. That will get you much further than hoping and looking for the exact right plan, not trying to lose any money, just wants to be extra crispy and clean with no loss of, no. Make some mistakes, but get started. Because you're going to make a ton of mistakes. Mistakes are unintended outcomes. That's what they are. They're not the death of you. Doesn't mean you're stupid. They're just unintended outcomes. Now, with the world changing, jobs as we know will disappear. I went out and got some information for those of you who like to research stuff, because I will say this with a great deal of glee. I have been right freaking 90-some% of the time. So that's a win. I predicted the eBay thing from the first video. I've said several things. Now, this isn't just me. Go ahead and check out this slide on Google Eric and Andrew. They've been talking. This book was written in 2011. Many of the things that they talk about in this book have happened, and they're going to continue to happen. And it's a very, very scary, scary thing, because jobs as we know them are disappearing. Industries that normally were not impacted, nursing, medical, fire workers, firemen, police officers, teachers, all of these fields have been disrupted and experienced budget cuts and layoffs in recent years. These so-called recession-proof jobs. There's no such thing right now as a recession-proof job. Even a doctor. And you're just like, what, doctor? No. Let me give you an example. Say you have Dr. Johannesson working at this hospital, and Dr. Johannesson's making $500,000. Works for the hospital. They carry his medical practice insurance, blah, blah, blah. Well, this new automation comes to the hospital, and they can reduce staff by 25%. Doctors are part of the staff. Doctors are a heavy part of the staff. Automation is going to push down a lot of decision-making authority to people that normally didn't, because they can safely do it. So they give Dr. Johannesburg, it's like, you can work more, and you're not getting any raises. You might even get a pay cut. Something happens, the hospital gets sold, and they bring in the new people, and next thing you know, Johannesburg is like, hey, you're making $250,000, or you're out of here. He's got to go. He goes somewhere else. He's still making more money than you are, and you're really missing the point. Doctors go through a lot of shit, and it's not all peaches and cream, and I don't think folks really understand how much a person who becomes an MD gives up in their life. So a lot of bad things can happen. So this is just an example that even a doctor can be disrupted and will be disrupted going forward, because typically the MDs who work out in the boonies, work in towns that no one wants to live in, there's no real nice nightlife, far removed, yeah, they'll make big money because no one wants to go out to bumfuck Egypt. But you being in the big city, you got a lot of competition. Competition brings adjustments in income. Just letting you know. So even doctors, if you don't believe me, Race Against the Machine, get this book, check it out. These jobs as we know it are going. Now, I was going to use something older, but I said, you know what? You're in the G-verse. These guys are hungry. They are going to come at you with, well, you know, that's 2013. This is August 2014. Unemployment rate creeps up. Now, this is something I've been checking this because I was other day I was looking at the news, and Georgia's unemployment creeped up. I'm going to tell you why it creeped up. Seasonal summer jobs, because they will count someone making 20, working 20 hours a week as in the employment numbers. There's a certain metric, I don't know the exact number, but they count these people. So all these folks who have these seasonal jobs are out of there. So unemployment is going to pop up, and I'm going to tell you something else. It's going to continue to go up. We are at a point where, okay, once again, going back to what I told you in the beginning, until recently, and only because I plan on making Hustling University all sexy, and I mean like super sexy, because when you have a question, you'll be able to talk to an organic life form. I made that decision based on what I think is wrong with education, and essentially for you to get that really, really good benefit, there's going to be times you're going to need to actually talk to somebody, and I can only serve so many people. That's one of the reasons I really don't push the consulting thing that hard, because to serve people, typically I charge $4.50 an hour, and it's usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I just really started looking at that, and one of the things is I didn't let it get out of hand because it moves me away from my personal philosophy of freedom. People are like, well, look at the money, make more money, make more money, make more money. That's the kind of thinking that keeps you unemployed. I think of terms of value, but essentially it's just been me because of automation. YouTube, GetResponse, Gumroad. 5 years ago, I would have been spending at least $3,000 a month to get the things done that I get done for literally pennies a month. That type of innovation is going to continue, and it's going to speed up. And when it speeds up, it's going to eliminate a lot of jobs that will surprise you in the next 5 years. It will. I see it. I'm just amazed at what I can do just leveraging technology. It's going to get more and more. So you have a choice of what you can do. Now, this is another thing that's happening. Like I said, unemployment's going back up, and what used to work doesn't work anymore. Once again, 2014. How many of you heard, or you probably know someone that has a degree and cannot find a decent job? And the thing is, I'm not going to go ahead into the whole degree myth thing. I'm just going to say, typically, there's degrees that are going to make you money, and they're hard to get. If your degree was real easy to get and you're not a genius, you should be worried. You should be worried. So, as we know, this stuff isn't working. It's not working anymore. Going out, and someone that was dating, we talked about this, and because of the pressure from her family was so insane, she went ahead and went to school, and now she calls me about it and complains. It's like I'm not really learning anything. I just sit there and be a good friend. I don't say, I told you so. I just sit there and I be a good friend, and I just listen. Just listen. And fortunately for her, she was able to rustle up some scholarships. So it's not going to cost her any money unless she goes over her prescribed time that she wants to be in this program. So what do we know? Unemployment's going back up. Education in a state of chaos. And this is a good story. I quit my job to become a freelance writer. Here's what I learned. Awesome story. Person quit their job. Now, the thing is, they didn't just quit. They laid the foundation to jettison. But you can be prepared for when you get fired, or you can be unprepared. And what I am thinking is you should start preparing now. If your life is great, awesome. If you are doing everything you want to do, you're putting money in the bank, the mortgage is like 3 months ahead, your cars are paid off, Dave Ramsey would just come to your house and said, "You've changed your family tree and I love you." Great. Awesome. But if that house isn't paid off, you may have a problem in the future, because that job that is funding all that may disappear. I am real serious about this. If you didn't hear me, firemen, police officers, teachers, and nurses have been disruptive in these last few years, supposedly recession-proof jobs. If those jobs can be disruptive, if people who hold those skill sets can be laid off, what could happen to you? Just saying. So you have this choice. You're going to prepare to be unemployed, or are you going to just get caught flat-footed like I did? I can tell you it's not fun when that man or woman across the desk says, "We don't need your services anymore, sir or ma'am." It's an ugly feeling. It's an ugly feeling. I don't wish that on anyone. What I'm saying is, it could happen to you, and let's just say the job you have is awesome and you manage to not be disrupted, and you manage to weather this thing out. Okay, so you start a business, you make extra money, and you got all this money in the bank and even more security for you. Wow, I don't know, what's the downside? So you teach your kids how to build businesses. I don't see the downside. Now, there's the salient question. Where will you fit in? Seriously, where would you fit in? Where are you going to be? Because that sea of humanity up there is what's happening. You see how dude's foot, look, if you look, dude's on a horse, right, toward the upper left quadrant, and you see where's his heel? It's on her head. It's on her head. It is a her because she's got breast. I see breast. So his foot, as he's on this horse, is on her head. Look at this other guy. He's on his knees. They're stepping over him. This is humanity already. But imagine with the coming economic crisis that's going to hit many people who are unprepared. This is what it's going to look like. Those poor, unfortunate people in Ferguson, Missouri right now, that type of stuff, you're going to see more so than an officer shooting an unarmed man in the middle of the street with his hands up. You're going to see people fighting like that and rioting because they don't have food for their kids. In certain parts of the country, that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be all over the country because there are certain centers that are going to weather the storm better than others. But you're going to see that, and it's going to happen to the most economically disadvantaged people. Those are going to be the folks who are already getting kicked in the ass right now. Those will be the people who will catch it even more so. And the reason is they're already catching hell for the number one reason. They don't have enough skills to get certain jobs. And as technology and innovation goes on, they're going to be these people. They're going to be like the chick here with dude's sandal on her head. That's what's happening. That's what's going to happen. I know it sounds really ugly, but this is the reality. This is the reality. And one of the things I'll speak about this is when I was going through my situation, when I was out there, no money, no plan, hungry, living in a horrible place. I was the chick with the foot on my head. That's what society was doing. And the thing is, it's not so much that society is mean. That's not it. It's dog eat dog world. Just like the wolf and the rabbit in the forest. If the rabbit ate his protein and can hop faster than that wolf can run, that rabbit lives another day to eat protein. Or if the wolf was on top of his game and the rabbit's dinner. That's going to be very, very much our society. In many regards, it's like that, but we have people who pretend and act like it's not that way. And it's kind of sad because it sets people up for bad outcomes. But that's what's going to happen, and this is what you're going to see all over the place. You're going to see people jockeying for position. So, are you going to be this person looking for a job? Or are you going to be this person now hiring? Which side of the table do you want to be on? Think about it. You hear this, I don't want employees. Having employees is typically a signal that your business will be a success. The faster you hire employees. I put it off because I was in the writing thing. I was just like conundrum media, write books, live the author lifestyle. And to a degree, I'm going to still live that, but I'm going to give up a little smidgen of freedom because I think it's real important for people to learn what I've learned. I want you to learn what I learned. Once I was in that boarding house doing that stuff and I came out of it, I developed some skills. Like the guy says in the movie Taken, I've developed some very unique skills. And I want to teach you these skills in Hustle University because I want you to think about this. If we had more people, and I'm going to give you numbers. If we had more people who were able to make $50,000 to $100,000 a year from their businesses and maybe part-time hire someone or full-time hire someone, that will go a long way to improving the economy overall versus this thing of going to big daddy government to fix the woes. When you have people who've never had a business, never owned a business, never had to do payroll, how in the hell do you think these people are going to figure out how to build businesses in this country? It makes no sense to me. I don't even look in that quadrant. If a senator or a congressperson had a business, okay, I'll look at them and I'll listen to them for a minute and just to see what they're saying. But if they've never had a business, how in the hell are they going to formulate policy to build businesses? The track record for that is dismal. Look at eBay. You have people up at the top who've never been eBay sellers, and they're dictating policy for sellers, and look at the results. That's all I got to say on that. So what are you going to be? Are you going to be behind the desk saying, Well, welcome for this interview. Hopefully, you'll be a good fit for the company, and let's talk about it. Or you're going to be on the other side of the desk. Oh, God, I hope I get this job. God, I hope I get this job. Because if I don't get this job, a little boo boo ain't going to eat. Seriously, what side of the table do you want to be on? There or there? There or there? There or there? There? You get it. So, either you're going to hunt or be hunted. That's where we're going. Many of these social programs will be seriously impacted in terms of financing because they have to be. So if you want to get the best health care, you're better off building a business, setting up your own thing and paying for it and enjoying what you want versus hoping that the government, even with the Affordable Health Care Act, as I call it, a lot of people call it Obamacare, I call it the Affordable Health Care Act, which has some good merits, like the thing with pre-existing conditions. Insurance companies pimped that shit for years. I used to work in healthcare. I know a lot of people were charged outrageous sums of money because of that for really simple, easy to manage chronic diseases. Yeah, I was there. I saw it. Now, let's talk about business. All right. This is a business. What you see is a iMac computer, a table, and also only thing new, I got the chair at Home Depot, not Home Depot, but Office Staples for $25. It was on sale. Got the desk off Craigslist for $100 with a chair that you can't see. That's a business. That's Conundrum Media, what you're looking at right there. You see any business cards? You see any employees? That was Conundrum Media. That it. That whole room that desk and stuff was in. That was it was it. Conundrum Media. So look at that. I want you to look at that because you can do that too. You can build some kind of business. You can build something that is going to set you free. You can do it. Can I give you the time table? I can. If you work your tuchus off for a year, you will radically improve your financial position in life, even if your financial life is in flames at the moment. Yes, in a year. But you will have to make some changes. Now, going back to this is a business. There's no sign, there's no logos. This is the beauty of the internet. This is the promise of the internet. This is what we have available to us now. This is the beauty of innovation. That I started a publishing company. Here, this is a publishing company. There's some things I didn't tell you. The publishing company can do all kinds of stuff, work out book deals with other publishers. It's a lot of things that little company there you're looking at can do. But I created a new one for Hustle University because it's a different animal and it needs different structure and formation. So, in closing, I'm going to talk about something that a lot of folks just don't really focus on. I had a lovely conversation with someone recently who's spent a lot of money on programs, and I asked this question. It's like, how much money have you made online? And she said, nothing. I've asked that question 3 times this week, and everyone came back with, I haven't made any money. You're spending money, you're buying books, you're researching, but you have to earn your first dollar. That's the most important thing in business. You got to earn that first dollar. Because if you don't earn the first dollar, you can't earn the second. You can't earn the third or the fourth or the fifth. That first dollar is critical. Do you remember when you were a kid and you would go into a store and you would see a dollar bill in a frame and it would be behind the register? That was their first dollar. That was the beginning. They recognized how important that first dollar is. So you have people who have not focused on making that first dollar, who are looking to make $5,000 a month, who are looking to make $10,000 a month, who are looking to make $15,000 a month, and they haven't made the first dollar. That's like trying to bust a nut before you put your dick in. Well, that's technically possible, but if you're trying to do it from the nice way, until you put it in and you start pumping, ain't nothing happening. It's just not. So you got to earn your first dollar before you get your second one. It's very, very important. So if you were listening to this presentation and you were really, really thinking about it, what I want you to do is do something to get your first dollar. I don't care how simple it is. I don't care how crazy it is. I want you to take the next day and figure out a way. If you sell on eBay, you've already done it. If you sell on Amazon, you've already done it. But what I've discovered is there are many people who watch this channel who are, part of the G-verse that are taking in information and watching the videos, but they've not made their first dollar. So to you, I want you to do something to make your first dollar. I don't care if you sell a blue rabbit. I don't care if you call up your best friends and say, look, I need to make some money, and what I'm going to do is offer 30-minute massages for $30. Are you in? Okay, make it 20 since you're a friend. Something to earn some money and get that feeling of doing something to earn money. Get that feeling. So what I'm going to do is go right on and answer some questions to some here. So I'm popping out of this, and I am going to, actually, I can leave that up. I can leave that up because I can go over here to the second computer, bring this over, move some stuff around, and see, because when I'm in the presentation thing, that's one of the things I hate. It totally obscures everything else. Let's see what we have here. Let me get in here. Let me get in here. Give me a second. Let's see. Go to events. Like I said, it was real strange what happened with the Wirecast thing. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Let's see. This is funny as hell. Oh, I know what happened. When I expanded it, it came out of the presentation. But you've got the audio. Too funny. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So it pretty much turned into like a podcast. Let's see. So this came out in podcast form. If I'd been thinking, I would have did a screencast of my screen, but I thought it was going to record this. I tell you, all kinds of gremlins and stuff are happening today, and it's kind of funny because, like I said, the Wirecast thing is a trip. Like I said, it just shut down on me twice. But I will probably do this again, and I'll just do it as a webinar, and that way you can ask questions because I do have the slides and stuff. So I'll set that up. I'll just leave this up on YouTube for anyone to find it, and I'll redo this. And tomorrow there'll be some more announcements and stuff. So with that, for those of you who came out, appreciate it, and I will see you on the good side. That is funny, funny, funny. Hey, and it's kind of funny because, like I said,